Pricing your time and services.
Okay.
So thank you, Chris, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Jade.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your artistic background.
Okay, my name is Young Chris. That's my stage name, or the name that my mother gave me is Chris Thomas or Christopher Thomas. I am a professional dancer, choreographer, DJ, MC, consultant, tastemaker, all the things that I really enjoy doing. I do it as a profession. All of my hobbies are a profession. And I do it on a big scale. I've been in 25 countries, touring, performing, teaching. I perform with a couple of popular artists that you may or may not know. I have a dance theater company that's been running for about 15 years. Some of my past students have been on tour with a lot of great popular artists, again, that you may know. Now I am currently working on doing a lot of community based events as far as like competitions, workshops, just to I guess give the younger generation, different generation, a platform to express and show off their talent and skills. I'm also a membership committee member of Soho House. That's a new thing I added to the resume. So yeah, all things entertainment I can make happen.
Nice.
Yes.
Super busy. So obviously it took some years to get where you are and build up that impressive portfolio, but take us back to the beginning when you first started. What were some things that helped you determine how you were even going to give somebody a rate and price your time and your services?
Okay. So, but even before then, my main focus when I started was the quality. I just wanted to be good.
Yeah.
That was the main reason why I started. Of course, I love dance. Dance has always been a part of me ever since I was a kid. I was on a dance company at 7 years old, from 7 to 11. Um, s- Skipped over the middle school and high school years. Went to college for a few years. I dropped out because I realized that's not what I wanted to do. So when I got back into dance, I just wanted to focus on being good. That was my focus. Not thinking about the professional aspect, not even thinking about money aspect. It was the focus, just
Yeah.
to be good. The quality of movement for me, because I wanted to be on the same level as the people I thought were good. So through that avenue, I also tried everything, and then I came across a company that were actually paying their dancers to perform, and from there, I started getting the idea of like, okay, this is how you price a show. This is how you price the time. This is how you price the quality. I mean, not the quality, but this is how you price your product. And stayed with that company for a while, and I learned the business side of it. Of course, I came in as talent, then I learned the business side of it, and then I learned the biggest thing was how to maximize the profit with minimum work. So therefore, the services can be affordable, and everyone's happy with what they're getting paid. And I've been using that template ever since I learned that. So for me, when it comes to how to price my work, it all depends on the it depends on how much it's time for me. When I'm DJing the MC, how many hours? If it's a show, if it's choreography, how many minutes? How many pieces are we doing? How many dancers? Uh, who's paying? Is this a homegrown organization, community organization, or is this a corporate entity? So all those things kind of factor in of how I choose my prices. But the main thing is time because my time is valuable. I charge for time. And in the midst of that, I can create the product. That's not a problem for me. Creating something, it's not a problem for me. Finding the talent is not a problem for me. The thing is, how long do you want the talent to be in the space? That's what we have to negotiate and talk about. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that brings up a bunch more questions actually. So going back a little bit, so you just started with a dance company and they're telling you how much they're going to pay you, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
so you said you worked with them. So you started just you started as the talent and you learned through that experience more about the business side. At what point did you say like, oh, okay, this is how much they're gonna give me for this? And then how did you start translating that into like, so this is how much I can start to charge other people for this amount of time, right? because
Yeah.
you said the main thing that is the time.
Yes.
So at that
So
point in your career, how did you figure all that out?
I used the template that was already being used, which is the template that was used with me. So from that point, I started factoring like, okay, how much am I okay with getting paid?
Hmm.
Like when I'm starting to book the talent and book the shows, like I was being booked. Like
Right.
how much am I getting? How much do I want? And also, how much are the dancers or the other talent worth based on how much I got paid? You know what I'm saying? So like,
So like
what would I,
experience.
exactly. So what would I be okay with in their position, which I was in their position already?
Hmm.
I'm glad I went through that avenue so I could understand um, the perspective of the talent that I'm hiring.
Yeah.
So once I created my number, and then I created a number for everyone else. So now it's like I'm giving everyone an option. No one is forced. So like here's the budget. And sometimes it's based on the budget. And I will
Right.
say this, based on the opportunity, I will take a pay cut based on what it is.
Mm.
Like there's no like set price across the board. It all fluctuates because sometimes it can be like a really big um, opportunity to where I can use this to, level up or leverage something else in the future, or it's just like, I need my money for this one.
Hmm.
So, um, so yeah, so it's all based on how much I'm okay with making, and then how much am I willing to give the talent or whatnot. And based on like what that is, I can have a cast of 10 people, 15 people, or this opportunity might only lend two to three people. But that's a conversation I always have with whoever is hiring me. So, okay, cool. So, let's break down your idea because once again, I'm not saying once again, I haven't mentioned this, but a lot of times people have to realize when you're hiring the talent, they're the expert in that industry. So I walk in as that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what's your idea? I always break down the idea. I never accept the, hey, we need um, 3 to 5 dancers for a 10-minute performance, blah blah blah. Like, let's break that down. Or it's like, hey, we need a DJ for this, this, and this. I'm never okay, cool, because let's break that down. Like, what does that look like? Because a lot of times you're getting the space into something totally different.
Mm.
I've learned that in the past, and it's like, man, I should have charged more for this. But let me get all of the information, and then we can assess the situation, and then I can give you a fair price for everyone. So when we get there, there's no surprises. Everyone's well paid.
Yeah. Yeah. And it
So
sounds like a lot of those things you will only have known from experience and
yes, it's
working with
exactly.
different people in different spaces,
Yeah, it's all
to
experience.
know
Yeah,
what kind of questions you would even go in asking to see what your
exactly.
rate would be.
Yeah, yeah. It's all experience. I've learned from past experiences because sometimes I've been in spaces like, yo, I'm not getting paid enough to be here. And that affects that affects my mood, you know. And then
Right.
sometimes that can affect the quality,
Right.
Like I wanna show up happy because if I have a good time, you're gonna have a good time.
Right. Especially because you're performing and you're setting a
Exactly.
vibe for people.
Exactly. And I only have one chance to make it right. Like the pressure is on performers. We can't hide behind anything.
Right.
We can't show off something and then it's not show up, but everyone appreciates it. Like performers, like you get one shot to make it right. I would even go as far as like the first 15, 20 seconds will set the bar on if we got
Mm.
it right or not because people's attention span is very short. So you have to capture attention really quick.
Yeah.
And I can't come in with excuses. Like it has to be right the first time. So I try to do everything possible to lead up to the event so everyone can show up and have a successful experience, which is just the performers or it's me as the booker or the business owner and the client because a lot of times they don't know what they really want until they see it. Then
Hmm.
now they want to continue working with you, and then you get referrals from that. So that's the best
Hmm.
business is referrals.
So another question. Talk a little bit more on an experience you've had as the talent who was booked,
Uh huh.
where you went in and you were like, "Oh, this is a good situation. Like I did at the like they paid. This is the right amount. I got paid the right amount for the experience that I'm having. Like it was an overall positive experience." Can you tell us a story like that?
Let me see. I haven't been booked in a while. I'm
You
usually
do
doing.
more of the booking now,
I
right?
do more of the booking now. I haven't been booked. I mean, I've been booked at a few things, um, but yeah, I mean, once again, it's so in later years, I'm working with trusted people. Like
Hmm.
it's very slim that I'm getting booked by someone that I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a slim chance. So, but like I
Well, try to
said,
take us back a little bit because
okay,
we're
so
trying
we
to
go
frame this
further.
conversation a little bit more for people who are maybe just starting out.
Okay, hmm. Let's see. Okay, so like when it comes to anything that I love doing, I put it this way. Back then, further back, if it came with a price and I love doing it, like I'm down to do it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, a lot of times it's a fixed budget. It's like, hey, we only have this to make this work. Are you willing to do it? Yes or no? And like I said, if it's based on the opportunity, if the opportunity is something I can leverage, I'm all the way 100% in because sometimes the pay is down here, but the opportunity is up here, and I'm like,
Right.
okay, cool. I can use this to get both of these things up. But if the pay is low and the opportunity is low, it's not really, it's not worth your time. You know what I'm saying? Unless I take this back, unless you're building a resume.
Hmm.
So everything has to have intention. Why are you doing this thing? If do you need to build a resume? Do you need performance experience? Because you can't charge a big number if you don't have the experience. You can't charge the big number if the quality is not up there. You can't do these things because you're just not doing yourself a service, and the person that's booking you is not going to get the best of you because
Hmm.
you're not there yet. You know. So I tell like younger entertainers or whatnot. Like I get a lot of younger people just started getting into the industry. They consult me, and they'll come to me and like, "Yo, okay, how do I charge this?" And I just start asking small questions. Okay, um, what is it for? How long do they need you? Um, how much do they offer you? Because I even tell them with negotiation, have them tell you the budget first. And
Hmm.
if you're okay with that number, then proceed. If you're not okay with that number, then ask for more. And if they can't do that, then okay, let's negotiate. What can you do?
Hmm.
Like what can you do? And then if it's still not enough, then of course, like I need to not take this booking. Or do you okay, so that's one side of it. The second side of it is okay, do I need this to build a resume?
Hmm.
Do I need the experience? Yes, it's very low paying, it's low exposure, but would it look good on a resume?
Right.
Is it a chance for me to market my services while I'm there? Is it a chance for me to advertise? Is it a chance
And
for
learn
me
something.
and learn something? Exactly. Because everything can be valuable. Like money is not the only source of currency. That's just one. You might go into a gig and meet a videographer, and it's like, yo, can I have a copy of that in exchange of this? Like, hey, we can't pay you, but we'll give you pictures and videos. So um, now you have content to build a resume and build your portfolio, and also keep your social media channels updated and current with quality video and images.
Yeah.
So it's so many different ways to monetize your time without just asking for money. So to the young performer, the young person that's getting into it, ask all the questions. Ask all the questions, and even do your research on who's booking you. Go to their website, go to their
Hmm.
Instagrams, go to their Facebooks, the YouTubes. Just Google that person. Have they done this event before? Go look at the quality of the event. And if it's not something that you stand by, then decline. Like no is still an answer. Is you saying no is not rude.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
also don't
he's
want to
like
be so desperate for experience and exposure that you do some stuff that you're not comfortable with or work with people
exactly,
who are going to look bad on you later.
exactly. And I mean, because you'll be exhausted, or you'll go down like you think you're building something, and then you get to a place where you think that you're at, but you're really not, based on the
Mm.
experience, based on the things that you've signed yourself up for in the
Mm.
past. So I would tell anyone that's getting into it, like grab a teacher and grab a mentor, because that is a that's a that's the fast lane. That's the HOV lane in this thing. It gets you through the traffic. You know what I'm saying? You're still going,
Yeah.
you're still on a journey, but it gets you through a little faster because you're now relying on someone that's been there, that's done that, and you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to struggle. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. I guess what is it like? What do they say? Pay your dues or whatnot. Like
Yeah.
certain things are already out of the way because you're leaning on the experience. So yeah,
Yeah.
grab a teacher, grab a mentor. Or if you don't have that just yet, keep your ears and eyes open for that thing. But also, anyone you work with, walk into the space knowing everything about that person and everything about the event and everything about that business. And then from there, you can figure out, is it worth the money or not. And then when it comes to money, you need a contract. You know what I'm saying? It's like you need a contract,
Yeah,
you need
absolutely.
deposits. Yeah. So everything, anytime you're coming in agreement with another party to do a certain thing, like that's a business. Like that needs to be under contract.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a text thread. It doesn't need to be a shake hands. It doesn't need to be a phone call. All those things are great, but it needs to follow up with the contract because that keeps you accountable and it keeps the person booking you or keeps their space accountable. So when you do agree to an X amount of dollars for X amount of time and they try to change it last minute, the contract stands. This is what this is. Now, if you want to do more, we can add that, you know? So make sure all of these things are on the contract. And if it has to go that far, you can take somebody to small claims court if you have the time and money for that. Like if it's
Yeah.
worth it, you have something on paper, you know? So um yeah, that's going deeper into the business aspect of it. I'm not sure, like, you know, because a lot of people start off as hobbyists to figure out if they want to do that. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Contracts are extremely important. Like I would say even if you are just doing it for fun, like
yeah,
you don't want to let people step on you.
exactly. Because people will use you. They will use you. They will take advantage of you. It will happen.
What about things like in when it comes to determining your price? We've talked about a lot of different factors to consider. What about the factor of staying competitive? Is that a
Mm.
factor?
Yes, it is a factor. You have to know your market. You know what I'm saying? Uh, what what a wedding DJ would charge in New York may not be the same price as a wedding DJ would charge in Texas. You know,
Hmm.
but also a wedding DJ in some small town in wherever maybe not be the same price as a wedding DJ in Houston. You have to know
Yeah.
your market, but that also comes from being in the industry. That's one key factor is whatever you're into, you should be in that industry of people, you know, because from there you can discuss prices. You know everyone's price, you know everyone's rate, you know what everyone offers. So when someone does inquire a price from you, you have a competitive rate or you have something, you have an educated, you have an educated amount to offer them or whatnot
Yeah.
based on your services. But also, and if you get to a point to where like you don't have to be competitive. Sometimes like your work
Mm.
is just this is the price for what I do. Point blank period. This is the price. And it's nothing wrong with that. That's your price. If you have the clientele for that price, then go for it. If you don't
Yeah.
have the clientele for that price, you might have to start somewhere to build to that, you know.
Yeah.
But being in the industry and being around the people that's doing what you do as well would get you some of that information or just having a mentor or having someone aligned with you that's in that industry as well that can help you out with those situations. But
Yeah.
know
Definitely.
your market. You have to know your market, whatever that is, whatever that market is. Know your market and and know what you're offering, and the experience pays. Also, the quality. You know, like think about a wedding DJ for $500 versus a wedding DJ that's $2,500. So you can't charge $2,500 if your quality is $500. You know what I'm saying? Now you kind of jipping people. You know,
How would you know that? How would you gauge that for yourself? Like
how would you?
feedback, of course.
Yeah.
How would you maybe get that feedback?
Um. So you would get that experience. You get that from. I mean, let me figure out that question.
Yeah.
Let me figure out that answer. How would you gauge that? So equipment, the services that you're offering. What does your setup look like?
Mm.
Experience. So those are four. I said it. Let me say experience, equipment, setup. I said three. Well, three or four. Three or four is a start of how you can monetize that payment or justify that payment. Are
Hmm.
you a DJ? Are you a DJ MC? Or
Mm.
do you just do one thing? Do you offer lighting and sound, and you can be on the microphone? What does your setup look like? Are there wires kind of just like all over the place? You know, does your does
So
your
it sounds
table have
like
a
part of it
tablecloth?
is,
Presentation.
yeah, presentation, and also like how easy are you to work with?
How easy are you to work with? Exactly. Well, that's across the board. That's with the $500 DJ and the 2,500. Everyone should be
Well, sure.
everyone should be easy to work with to a certain extent. Of course, like have your boundaries, but everyone should be because it's customer service. That's what's going to get you through, especially as a small business owner, entrepreneur, independent artist, emerging artist
Hmm.
starting off. It's going to be your customer service. So yeah,
How do you get that kind of feedback from people that you work with? If you did a good job, that will help you say like, oh, next time maybe I can, charge a little bit
yeah.
more because I keep getting this feedback that I'm doing a great job.
Follow up email or follow up text message. Also, getting what do you call those? Getting a review. You can ask for a review. Like even right after the gigs, like, hey, can I get a quick video of you explaining my services or whatnot? Like all
Mm.
those things, you can build that stuff up. So you can justify like, hey, I charge this and this because not even because, but here's my review. Here's a list of all the clients I've had, and this is the services I provided and how well they enjoyed my services.
Hmm.
But that comes with experience. That's kind of like experience. And then even going as far as um, like I said, it's just like what all you can offer. I'm trying to justify like a $2,500 DJ or whatnot. Even the spaces they've been in. Can you explain to me who you've DJed before or what spaces you've been in? Can you show me a video or idea of what your set looks like or what
Hmm.
does your setup look like? Like all those things are selling points. So it's all about that because at the end of the day, it's entertainment and you have to look the part. You have to do the part. Of course, um, the part has to be valued. So how do you show that value?
Right.
Is
So
a
this kind
loaded.
of leads into a little bit of how you package, pitch, present, market yourself, right?
Yes, but that's from
Um,
building. You still have to build the information. I mean, as far as like the pictures, videos, reviews,
mhm.
testimonies, et cetera, et cetera. Marketing 101.
So you said that at this stage in your career, you often work with people that you've worked with already, but do you still like how much does self-marketing still play a role in your career currently?
Yeah. So where I'm at right now is I do a lot of so I do a lot of partnerships and I'm getting booked by people that I've worked with before. So like with new opportunities,
Mhm.
like I'm seeking out those opportunities. And I've been doing it for so long and my name is good in the community to where um and I've been in the front, like I've been in the spotlight doing it to where when an idea pops up about a certain thing, I'm the first they call.
Mhm.
Um and but that like it came from years of quality, good name, customer service, providing, learning, falling, getting back up, et cetera, et cetera. So now I'm able to use that information to dump it off to the next generation
Yeah.
as far as like even booking them and even asking or not being afraid to ask for that big number so everyone's taken care of you know um and even when I'm getting booked, they know the expectation of the booking. Like they won't hit me up for like a whatever. Certain people can hit me up for like a very discounted price. I have no problem with that. But that list is very short,
Yeah.
and there's no new people on that list you know but of course in the realm of where I'm booking people by partnering with this corporate entity, I still have to provide all those things to prove my worth if they don't know it already.
Right.
Yep. I hope that answered that question.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the answer to a lot of these questions really is just building, building,
Yeah.
showing up, providing that quality, having,
Yep.
just being a generally good to work with and just building.
Yep.
What
And
what advice would you get? Sorry, go ahead.
and also showing having proof of what you've been doing over the
Yes,
years.
documenting,
Yes.
having nice little branding and marketing materials.
Yes. Yes.
What advice would you give to somebody who is like, okay, I'm good with all of that, but maybe they're not a performer, maybe they're more on the, maybe on the shy, introverted side. What advice would you give them if they're nervous about negotiating or asking for more or deciding like, okay, I think I'm at a point where I can increase my rate. How do I communicate that to maybe people I'm already working with or things like that?
Yeah.
Just like
Um,
communication stuff.
well, I would say if you're shy, introvert, um, sometimes having a person that represent you would
Mm,
kind of fix that. But if you're not in that position to do that just yet, then you at some point the hunger and the drive is going to have to like overpower you being shy.
yeah.
Because if you're not willing to or able to work through that thing, not saying that you have to, if you're not willing to work through it, then your business or whatever it is may suffer a little bit just
Yeah.
because you're not willing to, or not, I'd say it's not willing, but you're not able to be the person in the front. And
Right.
even when telling clients like, hey, these things are going up or whatever. I mean, everyone in the world knows things are going up.
Hmm.
Everyone knows that. So um, sometimes it's a thing like, hey, it's a conversation or explanation like, hey, my prices have gone up 20%, 30% from last year or whatnot, or now I charge this and this and this. And that's also that's a negotiating thing. Like if it doesn't if it doesn't if it puts you in a bind to do it, then is it really worth it? Are they able to pay the
Mm,
price that you need? Because things are going up, your life is going up, supplies are going up, time is going up, gas to
right.
even get there is going up. Now, if they're not honoring the price going up, and if they're not willing to negotiate, then ask yourself, is this willing to? Am I willing to continue on doing this? And then a lot of times, like I said, going back to that, it's a conversation. Or sometimes I won't even have the conversation. Like if it's an annual booking or whatnot, it's like, hey, send me an invoice for this number. Sometimes the number was high at first, to where it's like I'm good regardless. But if it's not, I'm like, hey, this is my new rate now. You know, are we able to honor this? And if not, like I said, it's a negotiation. And if we can't negotiate, then it comes back to me. Am I willing to accept this booking? And now another thing I didn't mention when it comes to like getting paid or finances or whatnot, um, if you have a monthly goal, like I want to make $8,000 this month now, and you need to accept everything to get to that number, that
Mm,
will allow you to take smaller, I guess, smaller, lower paying gigs, but
hmm.
it might be more lower paying gigs than a few
Right.
big paying gigs. But if this number is your goal, then that's a personal, so that's a personal conversation with you.
Yeah.
Then you can determine if I can take this gig or not. If I'm over that number, then I'm like,
Yeah.
my time and my like me sitting on the couch chilling or hanging out with the family or whatever is a little bit more valuable. But if you
Yeah.
need to get to a certain number, then you're gonna have to like hustle and make it work. Not saying be okay with being underpaid. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying have a number that you need to work towards, which probably be bills, rent,
Right.
car note, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But also don't put yourself in a situation where you're just working for free just to try to make ends meet and you're just exhausted, you
Yeah.
have nothing to give, because that can that can
Yeah.
that can really just pull you away from doing the thing because you're exhausted. So
Yeah. And that's a really real thing when you're an independent artist, you're an entrepreneur, you're somebody who is constantly trying to set your own rates, make sure you're making those rates, make sure you're making your goal, like hustling in a bunch of different directions. What
Yeah.
advice do you have for that? Like, have there been periods in your life where you're like, this is a lot, I'm not really getting like what I need from everybody? Like, what are some other things that you can do?
I would explore everything in that industry. When it came to dance, for me, it's like, okay, cool, dance is entertainment. What else in entertainment can I do when dance is
So
not?
broaden.
Yeah, expand. Yeah, expand that portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else can dance? I mean, what else can entertain? What else can I do? I'm sorry, in entertainment that's not dance. Oh, I can MC. Oh, wow, I have an ear for music. I work with a lot of DJs. Let me learn this skill.
Yeah.
Now, at this point in life, I'm able to offer. I can. I tell people all that. I don't say it all the time because it kind of sometimes it can seem arrogant or like big headed. But a lot of time, I would say not a lot of times. So it's a high percentage of times I can walk in the room and do everyone's job. Not that I want to do everyone's job,
Yeah.
but I can do everyone's job, you know, and it gives me a better understanding. It also makes me more valuable.
Yeah.
And also, I'm also able to use one of those skills that the other skills are not being
Yeah.
booked at the moment. If it's
Yeah.
not a industry for this right now, then this is popping. If it's not the season for this right now, then I can do this. And I
Mm-hmm.
also, in the midst of doing the things and working with people, I know the value, and I also know what looks good and what doesn't because I've done it before. I can hear a good DJ. I can hear a good MC. I can see a good dancer. I can visualize. I can see those things. So yeah, I would just say just learn everything in that industry possible. Everything, because information is valuable. The more you know, the more you can earn across the board. And you also know when someone is trying to jip you or give you something that's cheap or not trying to do a good job because you've done it before. You see what it is. So learn everything.
Yeah.
A lot of football players turn into trainers or coaches, or some of them are pushing towards ownership, like learning everything, and that keeps
Right.
you a student. Like you forever stay a student. You
Yeah.
s- you,
Yeah.
you forever grow. I
Yeah.
don't want to be a DJ at 65 years old. You know what I'm saying? So just learning more and more and more and more about the thing, and then it's like, okay, I can hire DJs and just be in Bahamas chilling. You
Yeah.
know, I can
Yeah.
be in, I can live in Central America, South America, and hire the people. I can run a company from whatever. I don't need to be in the space to make money off the space. I can just
Yeah. Which
delegate
is what
what
you've
I learned and
started to
make money.
do.
Yes, I'm trying. Whee! But I love it so much. I want to be on the scene. I love it. I love this. I love this life. So it takes a lot for me to pull away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the way that you've structured your career is a pretty good model.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
I think.
Also, and there's one thing also that I chose to do early on. I chose to be an independent artist when it came to dance,
Hmm.
um, because a lot of dancers they go into the thing thinking that they want to be like a backup dancer, or this or that, and all that, or working with a choreographer, working with this, or working with a different entity or organization, not organization, but something commercial. And keep
Yeah.
in mind that you don't own that work.
Yep.
You don't own it's high in publicity. Yes, there's a lot of attention around it, but you can't monetize that because you don't own the product, you don't own the
Mm.
work, you don't own the idea, none of that. As an independent artist, I'm able to own everything. I own the idea. I own the product. I own, you know what I'm saying? Like I own everything, so I can monetize that on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Hmm.
So that's one thing to think about when you're first starting something. Like, what direction do you want to go? Do you want to be independent, or do you want to? And there's nothing wrong with either one.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it at all. It's which way do you want to go?
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, for a lot of artists who are just starting out, a balance of both in the beginning is what
Yeah,
works for a lot of people because like you may not want to be stuck being, let's say, like an employee or like just booked by people all the time. But it also, like we discussed, is a lot of work to constantly be booking your own things all the time.
yeah.
So so
Just gotta. That's why I say try everything.
yeah. So you talked a little bit about it's good to have a mentor, a teacher. You've talked about constantly be learning. What are some other resources that you can think of for artists who need help to get started?
Having a teacher, just research, because you're not the first one that's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be the last. I still research. I still look for different ways that other artists have made it, or what their career looks like. I love documentaries. I watch documentaries like faithfully. I follow people on Instagram that inspire me.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm steady like watching as I'm living this life. I'm also watching other artists live their life and seeing um, how they're doing what they're doing. And then of
Yeah.
course being in the community, we talk, we hang out, we discuss. I might get put on somebody else's project.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing people onto my project, and we just build and grow. And that's just as valuable as having, like, to me, as having a mentor, or even going to school, whatever you can even go to school for certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
nothing, no one's shying away from saying getting your education. But it's like payment. There's other ways to get information. Like there's other ways. Currency is not just in a money value type situation. But as a creative, you sign up to be creative. So therefore, you have to always keep your ears and eyes open for new information. And how do I use that
Yeah.
information?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You spit out what you don't need. Of course, you swallow what you do need. You know what I'm saying? And you keep what you need and you grow off of that. So there's other ways to get creative. There's other ways to be educated in what that thing is.
Yeah.
Do it all.
Yeah, I really like the community aspect of that, because it's a free way to get information, just absorb information from your surroundings. I know that's something you talk about all the time.
Just hang out with people. Just like, hey, let's go meet for a Topo Chico if you don't drink. Hey, let's go walk in the park. Like, like I show up. I still show up. People are having shows. I'm in the audience. I'm buying a ticket. People are like, they throwing parties, they're DJing. Like I'm there. I'm supporting. I know you get paid off the bar, so I'm buying drinks. And I don't want nothing. I'm just there because I'm in the community. This is what I love to. I love to do it, and I'm also a fan of those who do it. So I'm in there. And if something comes out of it, great. If it doesn't, great. When I go out, you guys, some of my people I hang out with, I don't want to talk about what I do when I go out. I really don't. I don't. It's like when people ask me what I do, I'm like, like it depends, because I'm not here to network. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm here to enjoy the thing that's going on. It's about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Support is another great one of those free kind of currencies.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, any other additional advice or comments you have for on the topic?
I mean, if you're looking to do this for money, you're in the wrong. You're doing it for the wrong reason. Not because you can't make money, because you're gonna get burnt out if that's the only thing that you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Like I make art because I can't live without it. Like there's an urge in me to create something consistently, and my focus is always trying to outdo, or trying to get my ideas out as best as I possibly can, to push the culture, to push um, the community, or to even elevate, to add something else onto what's been done before me. Like I love this, and the things that come with it are great. But I remind myself all the time, like, would you do this if it didn't pay? Like, yes, I would. I still would, because I love it. So do it for the love, do it for the passion. Don't do it because of you might get attention, or you might get paid for, you might do this, because all those things are going to burn out one day. And I see it all the time. People start for the wrong reasons and they end really quick. It's like another one bites the dust. Yeah, be true to it. Like, be honest with yourself. Like, be honest with yourself. Be 100% honest with yourself. 100%. Ask yourself those hard questions before other people ask those hard questions. Be honest with yourself. 100%. Yeah, that's what I would offer anyone that's watching this.
That's awesome. I was going to ask, what do you think you would be doing if you didn't make it?
Still trying to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Who knows? Who knows? Somehow, some way, it just I don't know. It'll have been. And here's a crazy thing. I don't think I've made it yet. I'm 100% like that's. I really don't think I've made it yet. I think I'm on the brink. Like I just got somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm starting to. To me, I'm starting to.
Yeah. What do you think?
Everything
What do you
everything
think
else is
making it would look
foundation.
like for you?
I have no idea, and that's a good question. I can't answer that question. I just know to I just know when I get there, I'll, I believe I think I would it'll be a feeling. It's like
Yeah.
I've gotten to a comfortable place, or I've made it. You
But
know?
maybe that's kind of part of it too, right? Is that like
Yeah,
if you kind of what you were saying, like you're not doing it for the money or whatever, there is no like destination per se, like
yeah,
the journey is a
yeah,
destination type
yeah.
mindset.
I mean, because look at Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones is he still has his hand in music, and he's 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
Does he need to do it? No. Does he need to make money at this point? No. Like, does he need to build his portfolio? Absolutely not.
Right.
But he still has his hand, like he's still doing things. Of course, it's not on like a big commercial high level. You know, he's not on tour or nothing. But Frankie Beverly from Frankie Beverly and Maze. I think he's like what higher 60s, upper 70s. He just did his last tour. Like, these people don't need. They just love it. Like
Yeah.
it's just a love for it. Of course, they got into a place in their career where they're like, okay, maybe they're good. I don't know. I've never had a conversation with these people.
Yeah.
You know, Smokey Robinson, I think he's still on tour. You know, like it's just like
there's the different phases too, right? Like maybe there's a point where you like, okay, I have kind of made it, but because I still love it, I'll just calm
but
down
now
with
it's
it. I'll
fun.
just do
Yeah,
it
because
less. Yeah.
you're gonna go for like what else you gonna do? Just go like play golf all day?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to play
retirement is
golf. Yeah,
a weird phase, but
yeah.
all right. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for everything
Thank you,
you
Jade,
gave
for
to
having
me and
me.
our audience.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your week.
Woo! Let's go.
Thanks,
All right. See you.
Chris.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.